Hi YouTube. So unfortunately the lighting is going to change because the sun's busy going down, but I thought I would quickly make this video while I've got some time and talk about the series by Liz Curtis Higgs. And basically this series, it's the Scottish Lowlands series by Liz Curtis Higgs. There are 4 books in the series, but as I mentioned in my previous video, one of my previous videos, I didn't read the 4th book, so I'm not going to include it in this review. Basically, when I finished reading the 3rd book, I felt like the story finished off nicely and I didn't feel like I had to go and read the 4th book. So I'm going to just be talking about the first 3 books. In the thumbnail I do have a picture of the 4th book, so if you guys are interested in reading this series, you might be interested to read the 4th book, but I personally wasn't. So basically this story is set in the Scottish Lowlands and it's in the late 1700s, and basically these are the covers. This is the first book, and basically this follows along with these twin brothers, and they are from like this very like high up family who's very well known, and they're twin brothers, and basically their father is he's like this really well known man in the town, and he needs an heir, and you know, obviously back then it was super important that they have a son to carry on the family name, and so they have these 2 children, and these brothers are, the one is called James, he's later nicknamed Jamie, and his brother Evan, and they're from the Mackay family. And so it follows along with these 2 brothers. The one brother is he's kind of like rebelling against the father, and he's all about he's quite angry because basically their father will bestow a blessing upon one of the brothers, and so they're fighting for this blessing. Then the story also follows along with these 2 sisters, and they're from another family. Their names are Liana and Rose, and Liana is the girl on the cover, and she's basically like the older sister who's seen as the less beautiful one of the 2, and this father, their father, I believe has passed away. And their brother Lachlan is hungry for power and money, so he tries to marry, he decides that they need to sort of become friends with the Mackay brothers, and one of them needs to fall in love with one of the brothers so that they can get married, and so that Lachlan can get more power, and he will be seen as higher up because he's associated with the Mackays. So Liana has like this yearning to go out and marry well, but she's obviously seen as the less beautiful one, so ultimately it's Rose who captures the heart of Jamie. And it's just like, it's a really good book, and I really enjoyed the first one. I read this quite a number of years ago. I was a pretty young teenager when I read it, and I recently purchased the first and the second book from the book depository, and I'm really excited to start reading it. I have actually started reading it. I'm like 6 pages in, so but I've only just started reading it. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this again and see if I enjoyed it as much as I did when I was younger. Then the second book in the series follows along mainly with Rose, who's pictured on the front, and this is really it does focus a lot on Liana as well, but it's more kind of around Rose, which is why it's called Fair is the Rose. And this is also a really good book. And obviously, when I finished reading this, I was like really excited to read the third one. What's also really nice about Liz Curtis Higgs's writing is that because it is set in Scotland, it's going to have some Scottish words in it. But in the back of the book, she's got a glossary, so like with words in there. So if you come across a word that you don't understand the meaning of, you can just go to the glossary in the back and you find the word. She's got it from A all the way to Y. So it was really handy. That might annoy some people to have to go to the back and find out the meaning of a word, but it honestly beats having to sit down and find the word on a dictionary and try and understand what it means. So that was really super handy that she had that glossary in the back, because there were a few times where I was like, what the heck? And even going on to the second book, I was still just having to go back just to remind myself what certain words meant. Then we came to not technically the last book that I read, but the third book of the series, which is called Whence Came a Prince, and the guy on the front is Jamie, obviously. And this focuses quite a lot on his story, as well as a lot about Liana, and it's just so great. It's really interesting to read a book that's set in Scotland, which is a place that I really want to go to one day. But it's really interesting to kind of like read about the Scottish Lowlands, set in the late 1700s. And her writing is it's just really easy to follow along with. I felt like the story flowed really nicely, and it was a really fast read. So I'm really excited to keep reading this. As I said in the thumbnail there, I have a picture of the fourth book. I do own it, but I don't have it with me at the moment. Perhaps one day, maybe like once I've worked my way through it again, I might find that I want to try and read the fourth book, but at the moment I'm sort of still in the same mindset as I was when I was a younger teenager, that perhaps, I'm still in that mindset that the third book is where I want to stop, but perhaps I will read the fourth book and maybe my mind will be changed about it. But this is such a beautiful story, and it's based on there's a biblical story about Jacob and Esau, who are twin brothers, who were also like Jamie and Evan, and there were the two sisters Leah and Rachel, who are Liana and Rose in this series, and basically Leah and Rachel's father, Rachel and Leah's father, he was a man who was seeking power, and Jacob and Esau, their father was also, he was like a wealthy man, and they were, like well sought after men for, to be husbands for a lot of people wanted them to be husbands for their daughters, And basically Esau already had someone that he was in love with, and basically the father, he shows an interest, the man shows an interest in Rachel, but the father loves Rachel, so he tricks Jacob and gives him Leah instead. And Leah was said to be, she wasn't exactly ugly, but she was less desirable, and he was already in love with Rachel, so he wanted Rachel. And the father tricks Jacob and sends her to him instead. And it's a story of love and betrayal. And although I don't read the Bible anymore, and I haven't done for a number of years, just because I've sort of moved on from that part of my life. And the story does talk about God a little bit, and stuff. I think I mentioned in my previous video that that they don't really talk about it much. He doesn't come up much in the story. It's just sort of like those things, where they, like in other books, it's sort of like, okay, when they die, they go to heaven, and the faith aspect of it is very casual. It's not sort of forcing it on you, which was really kind of good. So if you're not really into that whole like religious aspect of writing, you might still enjoy this series. But yeah, it's really, really good. I'm really excited to read it again, and I'm just really hoping that it's as good as it was when I was younger. I just kind of breezed through the first chapter already, or almost through the first chapter, the prologue, and it's just, it's really, really exciting, and I'm really excited to keep reading it. So I thought I would quickly finally do this video, so that I can post a library tour eventually. So I will be doing the library tour, my next video, hopefully very soon. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about this series, just in case anyone was interested in knowing a little bit more about it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and comment below if you've read this series and what you thought of it, and would you read it again, would you recommend it to other people. I'd be really interested to know if there are other people that enjoyed this series as much as me, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's always exciting if you've read a series that you enjoyed, and there's someone else who enjoyed it. It's really good if you can like talk about it and stuff like that. So let me know if you guys read it and if you enjoyed it, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Okay, bye.